Hello, my name is Brett, the bearded gnome, and welcome to my garden. So I'm taking a break from Tresco. I'm back home for 2 weeks in my parents' garden in Braintree, and I'm going to be showing you a little bit around, some of the spring interest, a little bit of the winter interest, what I'm working on, what I've planted, and yeah, just showing you what's looking good. So a bit of backstory: this garden was all lawn about 4 years ago, and since then I've been working with it to try and create something that's a bit of a habitat for nature, promote biodiversity. I started by doing the no-dig method, layering up cardboard and straw, and planted it with a cover crop of green manure like Phacelia and buckwheat. And since then it's just been an ongoing process of seeing which perennials and which self-seeding annuals I can scatter amongst the place, and I'm kind of gearing up towards more shrubby stuff, more fruit production for later down the line when I'm hanging out in Tresco a bit too much than I should, and it doesn't get as much attention as it did back when I used to live here. But yeah, it's really nice. It's the end of March, we're almost into spring, so the daffodils are out. But yeah, come on, I'll show you around. So the garden is south facing. I've got quite a hot sunny side on the left, and on the right hand side it's more of a shady spring winter side. So on this right hand stuff I get lots of herbaceous perennials that come up, and tulips and daffodils that love the sun. Just over here I've got a little rockery that I made out of an old dog's cage and some concrete slabs, and we've got Pulsatilla vulgaris looking very pretty there, very nice. I've got some creeping thyme just going up the back, some Delasperma as well at the back that I grew from seed, and this really nice phlox, which when it does flower it trails down these nice little blue flowers that are just coming out. But yeah, really quite cool. And then onto the hot side you'll see these nice yellow tulips. This is one of my favourite type of tulip. This is Tulip sylvestris, the woodland tulip, but it's got these really cool like curled petals before it opens, so it's actually really pretty even before it's begun to open up properly. But underneath this kind of mound is a bit of an alpine section that I've put together, and we've got some really cool things here. I love fritillaria, snake's head fritillaria. This one is fritillaria megalaris, the snake's head fritillaria. But coming further up we've got fritillaria uva voleps, which is a really cool, very yellow one. Seems to have survived into its second year there. And behind it, fritillaria persica, which has only flowered once, but massive black flowers, very cool. And in amongst that we've got some poppies that I need to weed out, some Albericia in the back, a cistus. Here we have a really nice white snake's head fritillaria that's just popped up, dancing around. And behind that, you know it's spring when you've got cowslips that are in bloom. Look at those cute little things that are making their way around this quite damp area. So my garden is heavy clay, especially this kind of hollow that I've got here. The water seems to like flowing down into this area. It's normally filled with hollyhocks, Althea officinalis, the marshmallow hollyhock, which is a really massive thing, pretty cool. And behind that I've planted this one here, a little silver birch, because I think they're really pretty, the bark's really nice. And just moving along I've got a Ceanothus, Californian lilac that's coming up. And out of the apple trees I planted there's like 6 apple trees in my garden. This one is Egremat russet, just about to start blossoming. And then some fun daffodils behind some winter interest of sedum that I've yet to cut down, and also Phlomis russelliana, just a nice yellow flowering one. It's just doing its own thing over there. But these tulips, the problem with getting mystery bags from places that I've used to go to work, King's College, you get nice ones like this, and I also get abominations like this. Bloody mutants with millions of petals. I don't really want that in my garden, it's not very bee friendly, but what can you do? Can't really complain when it's all free. So on this left hand side, the more shady side, what I love are these shrubs that I've planted over the top, just to mask this hideous fence that we have. I've got a really nice Acer just on the foreground right here, which has a beautiful autumn colour, and in front of that Alamechia lamarckii, the Juneberry, looking really pretty. I picked it up for $5 at a garden centre. It looks a little bit worse for wear then, but it doesn't seem too unhappy now. And then I've got a collection of berberis and then Ribes sanguinea, just above that. What I do with that, as soon as it finishes flowering, I cut it down to the height of the fence, and it will flower on wood that it produces this year. So a little trick if you want to get flowers like mine. In front of the bearbriss I have a pyracantha, red column, nice red berried one, and just to the left I've got a cherry. This is, what was this one, Stella something or other? Yeah, Stella. It's just about to break bud. Look at that. I love cherry blossom. And now into the lower front part. This plant here, you might know it, it's the poached eggplant, Limnanthus douglasii. It's becoming a bit of a thug. I've got some weeding that I need to do around it. It loves the kind of wet clay in my garden, spreading about the place. I also love hellebores. This is Hellebores fetidus, the stinking hellebore. Really good for pollinators over the winter months, and Hellebores cross orientalis. Got some nice colours, some more colours further in the back of the garden. I'll show you in a second. And here we have the latest addition to my garden, which is this wildlife pond. I, excuse my language, fucking love ponds. This was built in winter last year and it's already starting to come to life. I've planted it, it's probably about 70 centimetres deep, quite a lot of water went into it. I've got a little log pile over there for newts and things. No residents just yet, but we have Caltha palustris, the marsh marigold, looking nice. And behind that some kind of equisetum, a pond equisetum, not the regular horsetail. That'd be mad of me to put that in. And then we've got this incredible little plant here. This is the water hawthorn. It's just kind of got these quite long lanceolate leaves and these nice little flowers. It's native to South Africa and they cultivate it out there for some kind of spice that they sell. I can't for the life of me remember the Latin, but just look at that, really pretty. And then I've got some water forget-me-nots and an iris and a water lily in the back that I pulled out of one of my client's garden. Massive beast of a water lily that took me all day to get out, really. And I chopped it up and I've put a little bit inside here. And then in the corner, another one of my favourite pond plants. This is Geum rivale, the water geum. Really good for wasps and hoverflies. They love it in there. And just behind my loggery, if that's what you call it, I've got an anemone. This is a wood anemone. And if you can just see in the corner, that plant with the clover-like leaves, that's an oxalis, Oxalis oregana, doing really well. So on the more shady side of the garden, under the fence, I've been doing a lot of work in the winter to try and get some colour into this bit. It's actually turning out to be one of my favourite areas of the garden. We'll start in the corner. We've got a nice little Primula veris, I think, or vulgaris, the common one. And I've planted this Diacentra, bleeding hearts, which is doing okay. Just so you see, I've got a little runoff on my pond, which like swoops down into this little bog garden. I've got things like Lythomithia or something, and Lysomachia, two plants that start with an L, but they seem to be thriving in this little bog bit that I've planted. And further along we've got Lamium maculatum. As you can see, the bees are all over it. Nice little bombus, cool white-leafed one in the back, but it does spread around, but it is quite pretty. And then I also love pulmonarias. I've planted quite a few of those, and lots of hellebores that I'm trying out. You can see some more apple blossom here. This is Malus red sentinel, a cool crab apple. Coming along, we've got lots more hellebores. I really like this section just because you've got some cool pulmonarias, different colours and leaf types, and pulmonaria rubra in the back that I would like to get some more of because it looks quite pretty. Oh, got this little bee sucking on the nectar. Again, Hellebores cross orientalis. All of my hellebores suffer with black spot, which is a shame. The only thing you can do is cut out the leaves and the dead foliage, which I haven't done just yet. So into the back of the garden, it's more vegetables and fruit production. I've got some red currants, black currants and white currants, followed by gooseberries and a load of trellises that I use for blackberries and loganberries. I've got a couple of perennial stock beds which are gearing up for the selling season. Last year I planted a little wildlife hedge along the back there. Hopefully that's going to do something nice. A really good plant. is this scabious, misty butterflies. It's been flowering non-stop, just getting bigger and bigger, ready to be divided. I've got a couple, or well, I bought 4 heritage varieties of apple tree. I went to this amazing apple fair, speaking to this guy, and he was telling me the importance of having local heritage varieties. So I went ahead and I picked up this one in particular called Braintree Seedling, which is where I'm from. I'm hoping it's going to turn into a nice tree over here. We've also got Darcy Spice, Montford, and Nolan Pippin. I'm going to try and turn these into some kind of Espalier cordons as soon as I find a space for them. That's the problem with my garden, is that there's not much space left. But the lifeblood over here, this is the compost area. 3 stages of life. Some self-seeding annuals, forget-me-not. This is corncockle, nice pink flower. I don't mind that in the garden too much. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this little springtime tour. I hope it's given you some inspiration about ponds and no-dig planting and winter interests. But yeah, be sure to check out my other videos. We've got things about ericas and subtropical plants on Tresco Gardens and the Isles of Scilly. But yeah, until next time, I'll see you later.